Hi guys, welcome to
Blended Roots.
Hi guys!
Hi.
Last week you guys got to meet our family tree, the humans in our family tree. And this week we are going to introduce you to our animals. However, real quick, we're going to take a second to introduce ourselves because we realized that we didn't do that. So I'll let you start.
I'm Amber, and I am Randy's first wife.
And I am Kim. I am Randy's current wife. But I was going through and editing videos, and I realized that we never introduced ourselves. We talked about everybody else in our household, just, not us.
But yeah.
So
I'm Amber. That's Kim. We're not sisters. We just look like it.
Yep. So Randy is her ex-husband. Jeremy is her now current husband. Randy is my current husband. She has her 2 biological kids. I have 1 biological, and then she adopted the 2 from her husband, Jeremy. So that's our breakdown. But now we're going to get into talking about our pets. And
we have more pets than people.
We do, actually. We have more chickens than people, plus the other animals. So we're going to introduce you to all of our pets. All of our pets have been rescues. So we're going to tell you a little bit about each of our pets and how they came to be part of the Pranner household. All right, so this one is Samson. And Samson was a rescue. We got him the weekend before Easter.
We got him April 12th, and he was born around the 9th or the 10th. But we got him when he's 2 days old.
And how much did the vet say he weighed at that time?
7 pounds.
7 pounds. Now, we're pretty sure, last time we went to the vet was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, and he was 27.
Yeah.
But we gain about 4 pounds a week, 4 to 5. So
guarantee that he's over 30 pounds now.
Yes.
He's heavy. And we know this because we have to pick him up on a regular basis. We put him in his playpen, and he likes to escape. He's already done it 3 times this morning. But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Amber pretty much nursed him back to health. He has chosen her as his mama. But he was found at a flea market in a box. I swear it was every bit of this big.
Yeah, it's not like a big box. If you know a box that paper, reams of paper come in, that size, or a legal size box, that's what he was in, and he had room.
He still had room. He was so tiny.
We do have a picture of him in the box.
We'll insert that picture if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok. You'll actually see the animals. But they think what type of sheep did we think that he is?
I'd have to look.
I can't remember.
What we said. But he is the most common sheep that every sheep came from, basically. So he's actually one of the larger breeds. So everybody thinks that he's a goat. So they're like, oh, he's gonna stay this size, and I was like, no, he's not.
The breed that you determined he was, you said he could get up to 275?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But now he did have scours for about 4 weeks, and that was an event. So he will be a little bit smaller because of that, but you wouldn't know that right now.
No.
You're eating mommy's shirt.
He is the sweetest little thing. So this is our house lamb. We have lots of different nicknames for him. Lamborghini.
Salmon Lamb and Ding Dong is the fave.
That's our favorite right now. Samsonite. Sammy. He has all kinds of nicknames.
He does wear diapers for in the house for right now because he looks like he's larger and older, but he's not. So you have to wait until they're at an age that they're able to train. And we're just now getting there. So
how old is he now?
He will be 2 months on the 9th or 10th. So day or two.
Yeah, it's still hard to think that he's just a baby.
Yeah,
he's just a baby.
Sheep are not full grown sheep until they're after 24 months old. So he's going to keep growing.
So
maybe not as
ram.
steadily, but yes, he is a lamb ram. And we did go ahead and have him castrated because we do have other dogs and things, and he doesn't know that he's a sheep. Do you, Samson?
Our son calls him a lamb dog.
Yep.
So he's our log.
But he is the only animal that I've ever kept for myself that I'm like, it's mine. All of our other pets, except for our newest addition, which is Kim's, they're all for our kids. So this is Samson. You want to say hi? Say ah.
Our Samson. Bottle-fed baby.
Yep.
House lamb, lap lamb. Amber did get him to the point where he will drink out of a bowl now, but that is a very recent development.
Yes.
But
I'm glad that we don't have to do 2-hour feedings anymore or try to like force feed him. That's pretty common with farm animals, so don't think that we're being cruel. But you do have to kind of force them to do things that they don't want to do so that they have a will to live. But me and him had many conversations on the way to the vet. You were not going to die on me. And he chose to live, so he's going to live for here. He was just supposed to be temporary, but he's not temporary anymore. We're not going to be rehoming him to a farm. He's just going to stay here with us because our vet said that it's okay. So this is Luna. Her name originally was Louise something at the pound when we got her, but my husband was supposed to be for him and our son, who we thought was autistic at the time. Turns out he wasn't. We'll go through that eventually. But we decided to get him a dog. They said that it could help because he liked animals. So we've rescued all of our animals except for 5 of our chickens. We did buy those 5. But so this is Luna, and we got her at Sierra's Animal Haven in Portsmouth. We've actually had 3 animals come from them now. And she is a Shar-Pei hound mix. And this little girl last night and our other dog Marley decided to go on an adventure, and she treed a raccoon. So she's never been hunting a day in her life, but she does point. She is a good hunter. She's not my husband's dog. She is actually not even the son's dog that she was intended for. She is now our oldest son's dog. And she has decided that she loves car rides now. She used to get sick. Yeah.
We'd take her in the car, and we would tell Randy, like, you're going to regret that, and she would get sick in the car. But now she's decided that she loves it. She loves to go every time anybody gets in the... Oh, my gosh. Samson is mad.
Samson's so upset.
He's not bleaching right now. But Luna Lou is 6?
Yeah,
now?
6, almost 7.
She's 6.
Yeah.
We think that she has terrible eyesight because
she used to have good eyesight, but she did get an infection in one of her eyes whenever she was little. But she's getting older, so it's just one of those things.
And she likes to perch. She used to perch on your back porch.
Yes, on a 2x4. It was a rail, and our top rail was just a 2x4. And she would literally have all 4 paws, and she would perch up there all day. She was supposed to be a house dog. She didn't want to be a house dog. She still doesn't really like it in the summer. But they roamed the neighborhood. But she's a good little girl. We love her.
She tries to act mean and
ferocious.
She tries to think or act like she's all big and bad, but she'll bark and bark, and then you walk towards her, and she's like, no. But her tail will wag the entire time, so it's just her pretending that she's big and bad.
Yeah, you walk towards her, and she like runs away. She's like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. I just wanted you to think that I was gonna come after you. But she's never actually went after anybody, other than there was somebody in a yard once, and our kids were in the yard, so she does protect our children, even against other dogs. Our old neighborhood, there was a very aggressive dog, and she went after that dog, and that dog didn't come back in the yard very often at all. Especially if the kids were in the yard and she saw Luna.
She's a good protector.
Yeah. So she's protective when she needs to be.
And this is, we have nicknames for her too, of course. So there's Luna Lou. I call her Balloona Lou. She has all kinds of nicknames too. I don't think that any of our dogs, except for the newest one, actually goes by their real name.
Yeah.
Usually call them by a nickname.
Yeah.
But that's our Luna Lou.
That's our Lou.
Oh, she's
all
done.
right. You ready to go? Come on.
So this is Olive. She is the newest addition to, I call it the Pranner Haven for abandoned pets, because we just seem to, even though we say all of our spots are full, we still end up with rescues.
Yeah.
So she came into the family like 4 days ago. She's new.
Week and a half. Oh, week and 1 day.
Has it already been a week?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
week
can't believe
and 1
it's
day.
already been a week. So she's new. She was found abandoned by the side of the road out in the boonies in the middle of nowhere. And our neighbor's mother-in-law picked her up and
couldn't find any houses that she belonged to.
No, and she had not been groomed. She hadn't been really taken care of. She had a claw that was like all the way like curled around. So just there was definitely some neglect, whether it was intentional or not. She definitely needed some care. We're still trying to learn what she really likes to eat. But she is our tiny terror. She thinks that she's all big and bad. A couple nights ago, little Miss Thing, and she's tiny little thing. She's just little.
They say she's 7 pounds. I would say she's
like 7
barely 7.
But she went after 2 big old dogs that were on leashes walking in the neighborhood with their owner, and she thought she needed to protect the palace, and she tried to scare them away, little Miss Thing. So we decided that we think that she's like
at least 3 to 4.
3 to 4 years old.
She is house trained. We've gotten lucky with all of them except for Luna that they have been house trained.
Thank God, because that's my least favorite thing to do. I'm sorry, it just is.
Oh, and Samson, of course.
Oh yeah, Samson.
But you know.
But we think that she might be a toy poodle or a multi-poo or something like that, because she is so tiny. But she's just a good little girl. We're still trying to teach her to get along with the other animals in the house. She does okay with them, but she does like to growl because, you know, she thinks she's big and bad. She definitely has little dog syndrome.
Yeah, she thinks she's the queen, and she is a princess because we got 3 others. So
yeah,
actually 4 because we have a cat too.
Yeah,
but she's a different story.
Yeah, she is.
But yeah, so our neighbor showed up with her at the door. She had her in a little purse. She likes to be carried. And she said, I have this dog. Do you know of anyone? And I knew the second I saw the dog that we were going to end up with this dog. Not for me, because I don't like little tiny dogs. I mean, I love her. Don't get me wrong. She's ours.
But she's more into the big dogs.
I like bigger animals. But I knew. I was like, Kim, come look at this dog. And the only reason I said that is because I knew Kim wanted her own little pet.
Yeah, well, we ended up letting her walk away. They were on a walk in the neighborhood when they had stopped by, and
they only made it 3 houses down.
Yeah, they went down to the end there on the dead end road and turned back around, and by the time they got in front of our house, the whole family that was here that night was sitting on the porch ready to meet her. And I stopped her in the road, and I was like, I think I found a home for her. And she was like, oh my gosh, already? And I was like, yeah, give her to me. So this one is our newest one. And I think she's doing okay. She's really good. Like she's overall a good.
We think that she came from a home that maybe like it was an older person, and you know maybe they passed away or something happened. Because you can tell she was probably an only pet. So
For
she
sure.
And now she has to adjust to living with not only 10 people, but we have we have 2 bigger dogs.
Rescue.
We have a lamb. We have 2 cats. We have a snake. So Oh, and 11 chickens, but those are outside.
Yeah.
So she's adjusting. It's going to take some time to kind of get used to that. But she's not had any behaviors that we were like, okay, she can't stay.
No.
So there's been no like red flags like that. So she's found her home.
Yeah. And she does pretty well. I showed her where her steps were. She used those. She's getting there. The only real thing that we're trying to work with her on right now, other than trying to figure out what she eats, is just not doing the little growl when the other girls and Samson comes in the room. But honestly, I think that it's just her, I don't know, her instincts just to kind of be like, yeah. Because then she's done. So, but so far she's done really well, and she really likes the kids, and she loves cuddles, and that's probably the most important part. So,
but we kind of knew that we were gonna eventually probably get a smaller dog. 2 days before we got Samson, we had another puppy, and that was a rescue as well. My old boss called me and she said, I found this dog in the middle of the road. I got to get to work. Come get this dog. Because I've already taken it to the ER. Like, it's fine. But, and I was like, I'm at the dentist. I can't. So we weren't living together at the time. I called my ex-husband and I said, hey, you all been looking for a small dog? Like, we're still trying to find it a family on Facebook, like, to see if anybody knows it. But I need you to go get this dog.
We'd even put in like a couple applications on some older dogs, because we do usually go for older animals, except for Luna and Samson. But, we'd already put in some applications, and Randy went to pick up this dog, and
I knew whenever I saw a picture of this dog, insert a picture of Ludo. It was just the perfect dog for him. He was so fugly. Like,
he really was.
He had one little tusk,
which is where his name came from. If anybody watched Labyrinth, we named him after Ludo on the Labyrinth because of the snaggletooth. And he was a good dog. He was also already house trained. We also think that he may have been abandoned.
Yeah, we'd had him for 4 years, 5?
Yeah, something like that. It was a while.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he did get hit right in front of the house. Yeah, big and bad. I know. He did get hit by a neighbor, and the neighbor was distraught. Very, very apologetic. It was absolutely an accident. He is also an animal owner and lover, and would have never done it intentionally.
Oh yeah, he offered to pay for the burial, the cremation, and we were like, we choose to let our dogs roam without a leash, and that is our right. So if no one likes it, we don't really care.
We do not have leash laws in our neighborhood. Just throwing that out there. But he definitely left a hole in our heart. We were all.
Oh yeah, it was. He was just on the couch beside of me, and then he went outside, and it was maybe 3 minutes later that the neighbor came knocking on the door. And whenever I heard it, I called my ex-husband first because that was his dog, but I also knew that he would be able to hold it together enough that whenever I called and told Kim what happened, that would be her next call. So that's how we do things, by the way, is bad news. Like, you have to tell Randy first, because she's gonna lose it. And
I did. Like, my boss,
they all came home from work early.
She offered to drive me home because she was afraid I wouldn't be able to drive. So Randy and Rhiannon buried him, and that night I went to pick up my car from the shop. They were fixing the air conditioner in it, and right before I left there, or left to go get it, one of the local tattoo shops was taking walk-ins that night, and I was like, here we go. So
we already had a print of Ludo's nose done from before they buried him.
Yeah, Randy had printed his nose for me, and so I went and I actually got his little nose print and the date of his death on the day of his passing,
which is probably the day that Samson was born.
And we do think that it was the day Samson was born. So we like to think that that Ludo sent him to us.
Yeah.
And then we also felt like Ludo had sent us Olive because Ludo had a collapsed trachea, which is a common thing in smaller dogs. We take her to the vet, and turns out so does she. So
they have like a lot of the same traits too.
They do. But Ludo is just laughing down at us right now. Is what our daughter says.
But we always said that morning before we got Samson, we were on our way to church. We do some community outreaches. So we'll do like pictures with the Easter Bunny, that kind of thing. And we were talking on the way, and I was like, I'm not ready to replace him. Like, I think that we're good right now. It has to be organic. Whatever happens has to be an organic process. And we were like, oh yeah. And an hour and a half later, I was driving home with a lamb.
It was very organic. Mom's like, I bought this lamb
because it was in a box, right? And I was like, it was in a box, and she was like, yeah. And he hadn't been taken care of. We can go over all of his medical issues. We can do that someday. But yeah, it was very organic.
Amber immediately fell in love with him.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know why. But he's mine. But Ludo, definitely, we weren't looking to replace him at all. And
then we said that all of our spots
our spots are full.
And we've had 3 animals since then. And that was Easter. Then we said all of our spots were full.
We were like, we have a larger home, and that's fine. But, how many animals do you actually need? The answer would be apparently
all of them. I don't even know how many we have.
They just show up.
4, 5, 6, 7 and 11 chickens.
Yeah.
Right? I think. Yeah. Okay. All right. We ready for Marley?
Yeah, we're ready for Marley.
All right,
this might be all that you get of Marley.
Okay. So this is Marley. We've learned that she does not actually like getting on furniture. So she may not. Okay. Well, that
might be it for Marley.
That's it. Oh, look. All of the hair.
She does shed. We have very few animals that actually shed a lot of hair. Marley, however, makes up for all of them.
All of them. So Marley was also a rescue, of course.
But from our own old neighborhood.
Our old neighborhood. She wasn't really receiving a great level of care prior to us bringing her home anyway.
We took care of her before she rehomed herself.
She did have to have treatments done. Amber would buy her flea and tick treatments.
Yeah, our vet was just like, you're going to buy this and I was like, listen, they're not doing it, and like she needs it.
Yeah. Kaylin built her a shelter on your back porch
because they wouldn't let her in whenever it was raining or snowing. There was an ice storm. She was covered in ice. I then let her in our house.
Mm-hmm. She laid in front of our fireplace at the old house.
Yep.
Like on the regular when it was cold outside. But when we moved here, she was like, Grayson is bawling his eyes out.
Which is the son that we originally got Luna for.
Yeah. He
lost it.
Was so upset
when we said we were
going to take care of Marley because the owners of Marley prior to us moving off the hill got evicted, and they left her on the hill.
Well, we didn't know that they had gotten evicted yet. There were some other legal things.
We didn't know at the time, but come to find out they had been evicted. They just left her on the hill.
And she was, my mother-in-law and my mom both saw her circling our houses, barking at the doors, like, why aren't they letting me in? Why aren't they getting fed? Like, why am I not getting fed? So we decided to go get her.
Because we also at that time said we weren't getting any more animals.
Look at us we had just got a new house. Like, we were like,
with carpet.
Yeah.
But
she's house trained, and she doesn't get on furniture. She doesn't like to get in a bed. She's very rarely.
Oh, yeah.
Will she get up in your lap? She loves car rides, but she is trained, and she will not touch food on your plate. She's unlike Luna. Luna will steal your meatloaf right off your plate. Ask my husband.
But she's such a fantastic. We call her the nanny dog because she she kind of mothers the other dogs. It's adorable.
And Samson. She cleans him.
But we pulled up into the neighborhood. I was in the truck, and I had the three boys with me.
She didn't show up.
She didn't. We couldn't find her. We didn't know where she was.
And we were like, okay, they must have came back and got her.
Yep. And then the next time I pulled up into the driveway at her old house, at her rental house, and we just got out and was just like, Marley. And next thing we know, she jumped in the truck and rehomed herself. We brought her home, and she was sick. She was very sick. She couldn't take more than just a couple of steps, and she would have to flop down. Come to find out, it was Lyme disease.
Ticks, and
Amber had to make her some protein-rich food.
Yeah, like I've not cooked so much liver in my life, just for a dog.
But I
didn't know what else had iron in it that would help her, at least get her through till we could get her into the vet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then she got some flea and tick medicine, and now she is literally the talk of the neighborhood. People absolutely love her.
Every morning and every evening for her treats.
She does. Even our neighbor across the street, he lets her in to have play dates with his dog, and he'll give her some chicken, and then she'll go on down to say hi to all the next neighbors, and
you'll see her walking down the street with a piece of pizza hanging out of her mouth because, you know,
that's what she was.
There's like a night of the week, I guess, that one of the neighbors gets pizza because it's like clockwork. She has pizza. She knows. So they all love her. A neighbor down the street, which we actually are friends with his mom or her son. And she will actually stop outside of the house, and she just does a treat parade out of her car window. She just throws treats at all the animals.
Love it.
It's adorable.
But yeah, she's been great. Our cousin told us that next year, or I guess this year, we better dress her up for Halloween because she will follow the neighborhood. She followed the kids to all of the houses as we were walking for trick or treat, and they were like, she needs a costume. And as we were walking through the neighborhood, everybody was like, hi, Marley. And I don't even know how everybody knew Marley.
She has a collar on, but we've put harnesses on her. We've tried to put her on dog leads. She MacGyvers herself out. Like, I don't know how.
Houdini. Like, it's just like, and she's out of the harness. Like, we got her military grade harnesses, like 5-point harnesses. They're escape proof,
and I'm like,
not with Marley.
No, they're not.
So she probably, I would say that she probably really is our best dog. She is just the sweetest.
And she will let our son, like, she'll get in between his legs. He'll spread his legs. She'll get, and he can ride her.
And
she'll pick him up,
and just takes him for a little ride.
Yeah.
But that's our Mars bar.
And then we have Griller.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just insert a picture of Griller, and of Reggie and of Freya. Griller is our daughter's cat. He is a rescue from Sierra's as well. And Freya, that is another cat that we've recently rescued, or our daughter rescued, and she was from there as well. Her name was Fortuna before. Didn't know where the name came from. I looked it up. It's like a Greek goddess. It didn't work. It's like Freya's a terrible name.
No, Fortuna is a terrible name.
Fortuna, not for. And Samson, you know, he's bleeding for me because he hears me.
You gonna join the party?
Hi.
Okay.
He is wearing a grazing muzzle. If anybody can actually see him, he does wear a grazing muzzle around the house because he does like to chew on everything, and I don't want to cook sheep. So,
we like lamb chops, but not our baby lamb chops.
Not our baby. But Fortuna is now Freya, and she came from Sierra's. We've had her 3 weeks. She was pretty sick when we got her. Griller was 5. They thought Freya was 5. Turns out she's more like 10. But she will have a loving home no matter what.
And then we have
Well, we did not rescue Reggie. We did. That was my husband's first purchase for our daughter. We were at a reptile expo, and she had been wanting a corn snake. She came home with a regular ball python. He fit in the lunch meat container when we got him.
He's a big boy now.
Yeah, he's about 4 feet long. But a lot of people don't like snakes. I don't know why. I mean, I get it. I don't like mice, which is weird when you have a snake. But I don't do mice at all. But he's a very sweet snake. We do love him dearly.
He really does like to cuddle.
He does. He's a cuddly snake.
People think that we're crazy by saying that he likes to cuddle, but he really does. He really does like to cuddle, and it's just so fun to play with.
Yeah.
But people will ask, like, how do you have a snake in the house? But like, I'm not going up to a snake in the wild and just like petting a random snake. Like, I'm petting a snake that he's been in captivity since he was born.
Yeah.
Like, he was meant to be a pet.
He is very sweet. But so I think that's all of the animals. And then we do have 5 chickens that were rescues from a farm that just wasn't able to take care of them. 6 chickens, 6 from there. And then we did recently purchase some because we wanted some for a petting zoo, but we also want to expand our flock, so we didn't just get them for a petting zoo.
They are expensive.
Especially for this many people. So we did buy those, but we did rescue our other chickens, and they're really great girls. And 1 rooster. Don't know about the other ones yet because
they're not old enough.
We don't know. They were a straight run, so we don't know what we got yet. But they've recently moved to outside to join our others. But I think that's all of them.
I think so. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Come back next week and hang out with the moms
on another episode of
Landed Roots.